let's go! Let's get on our feet. Another elimination game and another opponent now for OpTic Texas. It is going to be a blast of a series to check on out. Last time that these teams faced off against each other and went all the way down to a Game 5. And speaking of Game 5s, this team is currently trying to rebound off of one. Ladies and gentlemen, the Seattle Surge! Simp, Accuracy, Mack, and Pred, Seattle Surge.
I mean, how can they lose with LeBron on their team? Pred is going crazy in these series. We saw them push our Major 2 champions to a Game 5, round 11. It was almost theirs. Now they have to go through the green wall. Let's see if they can do it, Lando. Bring them on out.
We got someone special today. Let him hear you. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, your very own OpTic Texas. Ghosty, Dashy, Shotzzy, and Huke.
I mean, the vibe could not be any better. We thought we got a treat earlier. We were treated a second time, but I don't know, I'm a player on that stage. I might be shaking a little bit with my owner coming to bang the drum. Again, another elimination match faces the OpTic Texas at their home stand. They have the chance, they have the fire, and they have the green wall on their feet. Let's see if they can get through Seattle. Straight to Bryson time, let's get it started.
All right, thank you very much, Ali. We are ready for this game. It's one been long in the making. Seattle Surge, OpTic Texas on the main stage. The loser goes home. The winner stays around for a little bit longer. Tell me how you feel.
I don't know, man. I don't know. It's a hard one to call. Seattle Surge look phenomenal against Atlanta FaZe. They shoved them all the way. One gunfight is pretty much what it came down to.
Yeah.
Simp doesn't find that gunfight and Pred does. We are not talking about a Seattle Surge going up against OpTic Texas. We're talking OpTic FaZe. However, it goes the other way. But OpTic, yes, they have found the victories. They have ground those victories out as well. The resolution is very much there. But this crowd is going to have to carry them through this one. Seattle Surge are a serious, serious squad. And that's not to discredit the previous opponents OpTic have had. But Seattle are a step above the opponents we've already seen.
Exactly what I was thinking. It is a big challenge for Seattle to go against the home crowd, to rebound. The green wall is in attendance. You may have missed it, they're quite subtle with it. As you can see right now, every single kill, every single chow, roars will erupt from the crowd. But will it be enough? OpTic haven't made it clean in their series so far. Are Seattle better at being dirty? We'll have to find out. This map is almost ready, Ton.
Here we go, HyDra coming up to kick this series off. An interesting one. We've seen OpTic today, not looking too bad. On in Seattle, it is usually their auto veto, but they are getting better. The holding rank percentage looks fantastic for Surge, but their problem is rotations. They're at the low end of things. OpTic Texas, a good opportunity to take back #1 here, I think.
All right, here we go. Texas versus Surge. Seattle versus OpTic. Let's find out who gets better technically. At the moment, we're going to see OpTic on the slightly less preferred side. Most teams want to stay battle for P1 and hold those P2 spawns, but Shotzzy loves a bit of water play.
And Shotzzy typically on this map dropping over about a 1.15. He's always the guy looking for those routes for this team. Did a good job at that up against Florida beforehand. Seattle Surge resolute so far. Plenty of those have been coming through as well. Ghosty with a team kill. Huke will find one onto Pred, but it's decent time for OpTic Texas to kick things off on P1. Accuracy answering back. For Surge, that's not too bad. 20 seconds to go here on P1. We've got P2 control.
One of the biggest things here is that realistically, Surge are never going to hold this very long. They've backed up with their players. They're going to be outnumbered. For Texas, it's about time. OpTic will soak every single second they can out of it. We know P2's a hard break. The Navy SEALs are in attendance. They are sending their front man, their speed, all the way around the water. And Seattle, do they have the bodies and the guns to take them down?
Shotzzy with the first one, so that might just open things up here. Ghosty will find a second. Mack needs to find something as Dashy will find another clean break for OpTic Texas. Worst case scenario for Seattle Surge. You let a lot of time leak over towards P1 to lock this down and you lose it immediately.
Turns out OpTic like to be big game players. Seattle Surge really let that one slip as well. They should have realized the water route was coming in, but they went too passive. They went too far back, and OpTic continue to milk every single second out of this P2. And for Seattle Surge, all that you sacrificed has come to naught because the rotation is lost, and maybe the next one too. Look at the mini-map.
Some good scrap time coming in here for Surge. We can go over to what's going to happen over towards the other side of the map, though. Shotzzy is taking his time as Ghosty will find two. Shotzzy surviving on this rotation. I feel like he had the opportunity for a gunfight, but he's just waiting for the rest of the team to get over. Spawn out there for Surge as well. It's a healthy lead for OpTic Texas.
Here he goes. OpTic speed demon himself. The master of movement. The maestro are finding the gap, and he finds the first and gets straight back out of it. Get movement all the way around. And Shotzzy just causes problems everywhere he goes. OpTic kicking this one into high gear already today.
And I was going to mention before we got over here, OpTic Texas not having a lot of luck when it does come down to breaking P3, but immediately the doors are bust wide open. OpTic Texas now in a prime position to get some good time here. You've got Surge towards the back, the kills just about going the way of Surge though. Mack and Pred moving sight.
At this point, Seattle Surge are going to have to either up the tempo or try to stop OpTics. You can see them still battling around this point. The spawn will go to OpTic, but obviously it's bad spawn for this next rotation.
Exactly, I was just about to mention Surge flipped that quite nicely. Yes, okay, some time starting to go over towards the side of OpTic Texas. They will take every single second they can possibly get. And it's one spawn out for Surge. But crucially, the rotation does belong to the Seattle side. Look towards the scoreboard so far. Accuracy with a nice start for the AR. He's going to have to lock down some good time for his team here.
Here he goes. Shotzzy the seal. The man in the water. Again, he keeps finding the routes. He's staying alive. And this time, Seattle Surge cannot afford to let it slip. Last time they had P2, but Huke has joined him. Erupting from the water again with his teammates in OpTic. They find the break again. Seattle Surge hold nothing against them. They have broken through. They have won the gunfight. They will take the time as their prize. And the same old story, Seattle Surge are going to have to put some pressure on and hit the rotation again.
And that whole percentage for Surge is just suffering massively now. OpTic Texas, that's 3 breaks in a row. Seattle Surge need to lock themselves in here. That's been great time for the side of OpTic Texas. Surge though, for all that they have been broken multiple times, you're not that far away considering how dominant OpTic have been in terms of finding these breaks. Shotzzy's been massively influential. We were talking about in the green room today. He looks like he's on fire as we head into the later stages of this tournament. Shotzzy now trying to find another break.
Eventually gets shut down, but you can see OpTic keep putting the pressure through. Dashy and Huke are going to be here as well. Mack gets gunned down, but the trades eventually go to Seattle. They don't have the bodies. The spawns are towards the back. OpTic try to reinforce. And they just keep playing through the water. OpTic very, very good at here on HyDra.
Whoa.
Almost got a little bit too naughty, but Pred converts.
Ball springing out for Pred. Starting to heat up just a little bit, and this is crucial time for Surge now. Because the manner of how they've lost a lot of these hills has not really been working out in their favor. Beautiful breaks coming in for OpTic Texas, but sloppy play from Surge. Going to be broken again, but only for 20 seconds or so. Last time around, when we were over towards P1 for the first time, Seattle Surge locked down this P2 rotation. They locked in some decent time if you're OpTic Texas at P1, but already these fights that are going to go down towards P2 are going to start ongoing. Keep an eye on Shotzzy and what he's been doing. He's been doing every single hill, and that's getting behind Surge.
But surely, Surge have got to recognize this at some point. Hey, we haven't seen Shotzzy now. Eventually, Simp will see him. This man is entering his flow state. First set of rotations, he's only died 5 times. They still can't catch him. He's slippery. He's here. He's gone eventually, though. But OpTic won't get the spawn off the back of it. What they have done is got the time. They push Seattle back once again, and it keeps getting further away.
And if you can't get P2 spawns, well, let's just try and get as much time as we can on P1. Seattle just about rebuffed that idea for the side of OpTic Texas. Dashy with one onto the point, looking to try and scrap in the middle of the map. Gunfight's going to go on towards Ruins. Pred with an important gunfight his way. Shotzzy already on the routes, but it's not too bad for OpTic. Yeah, okay, you don't have P2 rotation. Seattle had this last time around, but remember what happened. Every single time OpTic Texas have broke Seattle. Can they do it again?
This time they call it swimming. Shotzzy eventually figured out here. They'll probably commit to it again. But this is everything now for Surge. Last time around, they set up for P2. They lost it so fast. OpTic have a dominant lead at this point in the game. Seattle must hold the door. They must hold the fortress. Let's find if they can do it for the Seattle Surge. Listen in.
Top go big, top go big. One shot. Back door. He's sitting for time. Close time. Fuck. Close time. Watch out. No trophy on time, guys. Nate.
I'm rotating. That's all you guys.
One shot front.
I spawned you. They're all over you.
Yeah, one's gonna be on new though. One gonna P3 spawn.
He's top you. He's top you right here. Top you on the plat.
Kyler's going around the back.
Okay.
Oh no, one shot, Ghosty. He
pushed backstairs, Kyler, one shot. Back gen. He's on the gen, one bullet in green. He went in green, okay?
I'll go to go forward.
Alright. I spawned here. One's green still. Alright, one more. Kyler's the guy green.
Yeah, he's inside green. Inside green right now. He's front cubby, Ghosty. I'm flanking the guy green.
Front cubby, watching palm cross.
Where'd he go?
Front door time. Front door time weak. Front door time weak.
Front tools on me.
I spawned at the back. We're good.
Okay. I stunned him. One pause. He could be in the water.
Out of the back, guys.
He went swimming then. Yeah, one's about to hop up cages. Swimming back. P1 check. I have my front. One more cages. One more hop up. Cages at P1 check. Back green. Yes.
In green, Kyler. Backdoor hill, Kyler.
I'm flanking the P1.
Okay. Kyler's backdoor hill.
P1, one shot, top P1. He's hopping up front door now. Going bottom front door. Pipes, bro. Call up pipes.
Front door, one shot dead. Nice.
I don't see him on time. I'm hitting pipes.
I'll stay back. He's in the water on the right.
He's lost of time. He's front left, one pipes.
And Seattle Surge just cannot get that genie back into the bottle. They are being broken every single time they try. They cannot win the gunfights. They cannot hold the rotations. The spawns are theirs, and they're not. They have to find a different gear. OpTic Texas in lethal range.
And that's the crazy thing. We talked about Surge. Their hold and break percentage has been phenomenal when it has come down to HyDra. Rotations have been great this time, but they've been able to get no holds so far. They've not kept it within touching distance. OpTic Texas have been phenomenal. Huke and Shotzzy having phenomenal games has been a big reason for that. Looking like some decent time being held by Surge. OpTic Texas not far away.
Seattle's just going to have to start winning some gunfights. You are correct there, the SMGs.
Good play.
OpTic Texas have been burning, but Seattle Surge, a breath, a relief here for just a few seconds. Do OpTic commit to this? Do they look to take even more scrap time away? The pressure will always be on Seattle at this point. A rotation for Surge may help them get back.
And OpTic Texas looking to just try and keep them in here. You can see the setup in the minimap in your bottom left corner. They don't want Surge out of this corner of the map, but 2 gunfights are won by the Seattle boys. Dashy can find one, but Pred on the relocation over towards the next hill. Trying to find the wrap. He's been so influential for the Seattle team. That is pretty much a full 60 over towards P4 for Seattle. Definitely within touching distance now, but OpTic Texas, first one's here. Over towards Tin. Got to win these next few gunfights.
OpTic got deep in this hill. They've got bodies everywhere. Huke staying alive. Eventually will go down to Mack. Pred ready to pounce on the shot. He's looking every single different way, and he's found the kill. Cruz missile for him as well. They have broken through here at this point. Not a kill to be found for OpTic. We've seen comebacks already here at the major. Is there another one being born right in front of us?
There's a 100-point difference at one stage in this game. It is still 50, but Seattle Surge have picked up the majority of the time the last 2 hills. Huke now just trying to find her out, but surprise, surprise, accuracy is behind you, holding the spawn down. That's 2 big kills for Lamar. Shotzzy trying to find a break himself, but he's the only one from OpTic who can answer. 15 seconds to go here on the second rotation of hills. It's all about this transition to P1 in holding down the spawns for P2 if you need it. Seattle Surge are breaking 200. It is going to be a 15-point game by the time we head over towards this third rotation.
P1 and P2 is where OpTic has made so many points in this game already. They have the position for it as well. They have a Huke, they have a Ghosty. This man is gunning and still moving forward. Not quite getting the time away yet. 3 down for it. The spawns may have flipped. It's trouble here for OpTic. They have to dig this out now as well. Huke will find the first. Ghosty will find the second and third going forward. They can now bleed P1 for all it's worth.
They can just about win here at P1 as well. Continuing to lock this time in, and the more they get, the harder it gets the Surge to win this game. Shotzzy will find 2 of his own though, continuing to lock this time down. OpTic Texas, 15 seconds away from the win. Pred has to call this in.
He's called it. He's trying to get that player on the flank as well. There's going to be no trophy there for them. You cannot win it now here if you're OpTic, but you have the spawns, the possibility, the chance to end this game on P2.
The opportunity is there. Can Surge find the routes? P2 popping. OpTic in control. OpTic time on the board. Can Pred find anything? Dashy, Shotzzy, they're opening it up. OpTic Texas are 10 away from blow 1 up.
And here we go. The guns are banging. The crowd is screaming. It's 5 seconds. It's a mile away from Surge. The first map is falling with accuracy. Tries to jump in, but he can't. And the first blood in this series will go to OpTic Texas. They allowed a little bit of a comeback. They allowed the dreams of Seattle Surge to blossom in this game and then brutally put it down. P1, P2 again.
Rotations for Surge, so good the entire game, but couldn't hold a goddamn thing. Shotzzy and Huke, every single time we're on those rotations for the first 3 quarters of that game, we're finding kill after kill. They were hiding in corners you wouldn't expect and disrupting Surge at every single given opportunity. And I just want to point out one thing here. Objective kills for Huke sitting at 13. Nearly drops 30 himself as well. Finding the kills in the important places if you're Huke is a massively important job to do. And he does that job to the highest of levels. 250 to 209, and that's a map that OpTic Texas needed. We look at these maps and the games that we have coming up, we feel like that was a crucial one they needed to find.
It really is. If you were watching that game the way through, I think Seattle Surge were probably better at getting those rotations, but
great.
Holding them was a catastrophe. We saw Shotzzy and Huke hit the water. We saw them hit the flank. We saw them continue to make problems. And Seattle Surge, it took them an entire set of rotations to finally start getting a lid on those 2 players. But it was too little, too late.
And we talked about how this is a massive veto that's coming in for Surge. I feel like it's the most vetoed map in terms of any of the game modes has been HyDra. And I think I could honestly see the reasons as to why. So many times those back routes were found by Huke, Shotzzy, by anybody. Typically those 2 guys, of course, will be the ones who are making that play. But every single time they were offered an opportunity to get round behind Seattle Surge, they took it with both hands. A really good way to open up the series for OpTic Texas, and Seattle Surge may well be reeling here after that defeat to the side of FaZe, of course, in the winner's bracket side of things. You are in danger of this crowd getting on top of you, with OpTic Texas now taking the lead in this series against one of the best, if not the best hardpoint team in the game. It's a massive, massive map 1 for OpTic.
It is. Seattle are already hurt, they're already bleeding. They have suffered a defeat today as well. They needed a win on the board. Yeah, the big issue is going to be, obviously, a 1.53 from Huke. Dashy didn't even have to do much, realistically. Wander around, watch his teammates kill everything before he could get there. But Seattle Surge has not won an S&D today.
And honestly, you're very right, Dashy, in those moments. It's not like he has to do a great deal. Shotzzy and Huke putting up those numbers. We said we were watching that first game this morning. Shotzzy looks on it. And that form has continued here into the night in Texas. HyDra hardpoint will go over towards OpTic. Hotel Search and Destroy coming up next as well, which is an interesting one. We'll delve into some of the stats in a little while. Hotel Control will be map number 3. And if we need them, Fortress hardpoint, Fortress Search and Destroy. This has got so much potential to go all of the way. Map number 2 now coming up. Huke has got to be feeling confident. That's a big performance from him. He's a guy who will often find the important kills for you. We've seen that in the stats. 13 objective kills coming in from Huke. But for him to put up that amount, it's a dangerous prospect for the side of Surge to try and deal with.
Fully locked in. On the other side of the stage, Seattle Surge said it before, came in a little bit cold, came off a defeat as well at the hands of Atlanta FaZe. If anything, OpTic have actually been looking better as this tournament goes on. It's almost like they're escalating to the level of their competition. There have been not a lot of people that have thought they're going to win most of their games coming through. After their defeat to Boston early on, they took down London, they took down Florida. And now 1-0 up over Seattle Surge. It could be the home crowd buff, I don't know.
You would think that might be a slight thing in their favor as we head into Greenberg Hotel. It's an interesting one on the stats perspective. Looking over towards it, Texas winning this one today, 6-3. Seattle losing it 6-3 himself. It's an interesting one. In terms of first bloods, etc., we'll delve into it, but both these two teams very well versed when it comes down to this map. Which way it goes, I haven't a clue, but Dashy, his hotel map this morning, 8 kills, 4 deaths, big one from him. OpTic Texas, can you find yourself 2-0 up, or will Seattle tie the game?
Well, one more time into the breach, my dear friends. Let's find out how this goes. Dashy on the cross and almost catches Pred already. The wallbang from Simp is not going to get him. It does force Dashy a little bit further back, and this might be perfect play. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Dashy finds the first blood.
Does his job to absolute perfection. Needs to just stay alive over towards that side of the site. The rest of OpTic Texas, yeah, we're on the way.
And now Seattle, no bomb down. 2 teammates gone. You need a miracle, you need a prayer. You need something in this situation. OpTic hold all the cards, all the keys. What is there left for Surge?
Not a great deal. This is their only opportunity. Bomb now down. Over towards their side, you can get in a bedroom, try and play something there. But you can already see Dashy ready and waiting for the rest of his teammates to make the move, and there's another one. 2 for Bruce. And now, a 1 versus 4. I don't think Pred, even with his ability, will manage this one.
I think he's got called out as well. Dashy knows exactly where it's going to be. Has to get away from it. Bomb going to be defused. He's trying to find the Pred, not going to get it. OpTic lock it down. Every single gun barrel aimed at bedroom. You've got to give some credit there to Dashy. Straight off the rip. Not a beat missed.
So important that he finds that first kill. If that bomb goes down, it's a very different story to what we have going on in that round. Just a little throwback to Seattle Surge, actually not playing this map a lot. Of course, for OpTic Texas, they haven't played it a lot either. But Surge were looking really good on this map until they played up against the side of FaZe beforehand. 12-3 in round count until they went up against FaZe, where they lost to 6-3. So they will still be feeling good about their hotel. That's a few rounds in a row they've now lost in overall against all competition. Need a look in tight, get around to steady the nerves, and that's not going to help things. Shotzzy, first blood.
Yeah, witching. A little bit of massacre here. There's nothing going the way of Surge. And there's a third player down. Accuracy. Last alive. It's another 1v4 for Seattle. He finds the first and the second. What was that? Gets tagged up, 20 health in a dream. Running, gunning, down.
Got a little bit scary for just a second, especially considering who's the one firing the gun there. Accuracy in those situations, it's not many better. He's trying to get away. He gets away, then you've got a different story. Seattle Surge need to start turning up 2 players without even firing a bullet that's going to hit anybody on the side of OpTic Texas so far. Accuracy sitting at 2-2. The only one on Seattle to find a kill in the first 2 rounds. They need to answer back very, very quickly here, because this is getting in danger of getting out of hand, I would say, at this stage. OpTic Texas, you've got the crowd behind them. Feeling good. 1-0 up in the series, 2-0 up in the Search and Destroy. Stun check now coming out. Surge, what's the play? You got to change it up. Another first blood for Shotzzy.
Seattle Surge now.
Another
one go down. How is he getting away with this? Accuracy eventually gets the trade they so desperately need. Seattle Surge, 2 versus 3. Another clutch situation for them. 1 versus 3. 1 versus 2. Maybe a bit easier for Accuracy this time around.
He's got Dashy with a sniper to contend with, as well as Huke. Bomb now down for Accuracy. Found a good position to find himself in. Has dead silence as well. This is so doable for the Iceman himself.
Now, patience is a virtue. and it may be the benefit in this round. Can he find the 1v1s? Can he hold the nerve? Already going for it as well, sees 1 and 2. Playing time, waiting for it, it's a big counter. Oh! Dashy! That's a pistol! He's ripped the face off the Iceman!
OpTic Texas are delusional confident right now. 1v2 and Dashy's like, yeah, I've got a pistol, I'm flying at him. That's 4 kills in the game now for Dashy. This is domination from the side of OpTic Texas so far in the search and destroy accuracy. It's always backs against the wall in that situation. But Dashy in that scenario to make that call and it to work out as well. OpTic. Is this the same team we've been seeing over this stage? I don't know, because right now they are looking pretty much unstoppable.
The team that could have fallen earlier in this tournament has found a new lease of life. That shout was outrageous. I hope our replay operator's got it. I want to see it from the other point of view. Huke being aggressive, because it's basically his middle name at this point. OpTic looking for control.
Plenty of it is being given to them. Seattle Surge not able to answer. It is another first blood for Shotzzy. That's 3 out of 4 rounds. Huke now looking for a kill on the Mack as well. Would he challenge it? You think he would. He's thinking about it, but the bomb in hand is Shotzzy. Reign of terror continues. The SMGs of OpTic Texas are tearing Surge apart.
And I can't tell you what to think of this S&D, but I know numbers. 4-0 to Texas. And on the side of Seattle Surge, 0-4, 4-4, 0-4, 0-4. Accuracy, the only player who has found anything from Seattle. The rest of his teammates found nothing but tears and the jeers of the green wall.
They got to be feeling good about this one. We bigged it up as the biggest competition that OpTic Texas will face so far. But right now, they are making mincemeat out of Surge. Dashy nearly finding that one. 4 versus 4 still. Huke and Shotzzy the ones patrolling, roaming, hunting around the map as Huke will find surely a kill here. A big stun comes through. Pred will find one for Surge's first kill of the game so far. Accuracy answers back. This is looking like a round for Surge.
Something they have desperately needed. Being clutched up again here, we might as well end the series, but we'll see. OpTic playing patient, and Dashy whiffs the sniper. Still a 2 versus 4. Still plausible. 40 seconds on the clock.
Bomb is down. Pred now in a good position to shut this down, and it's looking like Seattle Surge will eventually get themselves on the board. Important thing to note here for the side of Dashy. 5 spree. He will want to continue that. He will want to add to that. Cruise missile in the back pocket is never a bad thing to have.
It's never that great of a thing to have either, realistically. The statistics say it's about 17% effective. But sometimes the information, sometimes the positioning is worth more than the kills it can find. Dashy will wait. I think the rest of the team now as well! Pred finds him! Everything they needed there around and to take him off of the streak. There may be life on that side of the stage. We'll have to get David Attenborough in to find out.
3 kills for Pred in that round. Not many people would have got that reference, but you know, we'll ride with it anyway. OpTic Texas is still in a commanding position in this search and destroy. A commanding position in this series. As mentioned, Pred eventually gets himself on the board with 3 kills in that round. We'll be looking to continue that spree. Crowd still buoyed by the performance of OpTic Texas so far. Look at this now from Surge. It's the default aggression. Over towards the defensive side. You can't do that. You can't do that.
I know he wasn't moving that fast, Pred. He was stunned. You can't just knife your own teammate because he's in the way. And just when Seattle Surge felt like maybe they could regain, they get a team kill. They're now down 2 versus 3. Pressure onto the teammates. Can they find a miracle? No! Dashy guns. Accuracy, the Iceman again in a clutch situation. Not made a single one, and down he falls. 5-1 to OpTic. And this is starting to look like beating down.
This is dominant. I mean, Pred making those mistakes, you can't let it happen. We'll see it again. I don't think many Australians or Seattle Surge fans will want to see this one.
Dead silence. Oh, that's unfortunate. And I think Pred lost full as well. Straight into the chow, doesn't get it. And the crowd is chanting something I don't want to repeat right now. But Seattle Surge have found nothing but misery here in this hotel. And down Pred falls.
That's a fourth.
Shotzzy first blood.
It's a fourth first blood for Shotzzy in this game. Pulling out the AR, it doesn't matter what it is. He is finding everything on this map now for OpTic Texas. 4v3 for the map and a 2-0 lead.
Now, we sell the dream. We talk about can Seattle come back. It is more than a mountain to climb. It is more than anything for them. And you can see that bomb is going to go down. Dashy's going to know. They threw the needle and he's let him through as well. Still a potential here for Seattle. The stun is going to hit. Mack still trying to play his life.
More than just a potential, but Huke wins to come fight on the other side. Accuracy playing the island. He's been wiped off it by a tidal wave of OpTic players. Simp will find one, Dashy finds another. It's all down to Mack now in the 1 versus 3, now 1 versus 2.
Gotta wait for it, Dashy jumps him again! It's carnage on the main stage as OpTic Texas just kicked the teeth out of Seattle Surge. It was not a competition for OpTic. That's only like plus 20 SR.
Domination from the word go. First bloods all over the place for OpTic Texas. 4 for Shotzzy, 1 for Dashy, 1 for Huke. Seattle Surge barely even showed up. That is dominant from the side of OpTic, who are now in prime position to see themselves on Sunday at their own major. And who would have thought, based on what we've seen from this squad, over this major, the criticisms have been plenty and the criticisms have been deserved. But right now, they look like a completely different squad. 2 to the good and looking fantastic heading into the rest of this series.
Well, last time we were here in Texas at the OpTic Major, a very famous photo of Dashy went around floating a foot above the stage. I guess you could say he's doing it again. 8-1, 5-1 for Huke. Seattle Surge found nothing that game, and it's 2 to the good for OpTic Texas.
Still a route out here for the side of Seattle Surge, of course. Hotel Control coming up, a solid control team themselves. Fortress Hardpoint, of course, as well. We've seen them up against FaZe. Look good on that map. The Fortress Search and Destroy will be a feel-good map as well for the side of OpTic Texas. They know, at worst, they have that map under their belts. They will be feeling super confident. This series is far from done, but OpTic Texas right now look unstoppable.
They certainly do. Well, what happens in the control, we'll have to find out. Don't go anywhere. We'll see you for more Call of Duty League right after this break. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Call of Duty League. We are going into map 3 in what can only be described as an OpTic beatdown. But one place that won't be beaten down is the crowd here in Texas are making noise for their team. And I don't know OpTic, I don't know Texas, but I tell you something, the noise is deafening. It is reverberating around this arena in the breaks. Does Seattle Surge have what it takes to regain?
I don't know about you, I'm ready to put the headset down and just get in there. Get amongst it. They're having a great time, and rightfully so. But the question is, are Seattle Surge ready to eventually turn up to this game? Control is something they can potentially get underneath their belt here to make it a series. But we thought that about map 1. We thought that about map 2, and they are yet to show us anything at all. This is as poor as I've seen Seattle Surge on at all, actually, as far as the season has gone, as far as the stage has gone. They've looked very solid the entire way through. They've looked non-existent in this series so far. OpTic Texas blowing them away. Can they continue it though? Control is going to be a difficult.
There is always the caveat. There is always a chance. I would be remiss to not remind you of it, because realistically, we've seen some comebacks this tournament already, but does Seattle Surge have what it takes? The stats favor them in the control a little bit.
Yeah.
Texas haven't been amazing at it so far at this event, but then again, we said this before the game. Our desk said this before the game. The Reddit said this before the game. And OpTic have ascended.
Right now, they just look to have a different kind of energy. Shotzzy and Huke have been taking over the game. And it's just been so hard for Seattle Surge to deal with it. You know, I think, you know, they count on Pred having a good performance quite often. And when he is having that good performance, this team flows so well. But we have not seen Pred turn up just quite yet. The more for the OpTic side then, well, he has done for Surge, as the crowd were reminding him. But there is still some way to go. Hotel Control coming up now. And the stats on this one, well, I mean, look, we've talked about stats already just a little bit. We haven't had much of a chance to talk about them, to be honest, but these ones will tell you a story that you need to know. 9 and 5 for the side of Seattle Surge is a nice one to have in your back pocket. 5 and 7 for OpTic. And bearing in mind, OpTic on this map today already, 2-0 up against Florida, threw it in the bin. Can't do it here. If you're OpTic Texas, close it out now. You cannot allow Seattle Surge to see that fortress hardpoint.
All right, let's find out. We've had a little bit of a break, a little bit of a breather. We'll see how these teams fly into this one already. There go the gruesome twosome. Huke and Shotzzy flying into this one. Shotzzy will get down, but Huke remains alive. And at the moment, OpTic looking for a push, but they have got players onto A. Are they going to reinforce Huke B?
Really nice setup from Surge. Accuracy will find the 3 kills to slow everything down. And Surge don't panic, they don't go for Huke, they know he's back there. Yeah, okay, whatever, deal with it. They find the kills in the mid map. They stop him getting any reinforcements. Now for the side of OpTic Texas, still concentrating over towards B as well. Simp will find fights there, Dashy and Kitchen. Potential still for B on the cards, that's why Dashy's on the walkway, will get dealt with. It's a little bit mixy, to be honest with you. Neither team with map control, but now eventually OpTic Texas control of B. Nobody on veteran for Surge. Dangerous proposition.
And they've got 3 down again. Seattle Surge rebuffing all the pressure and aggression from OpTic. And playing their own game, they will not buckle yet.
And I like that from Huke there. Stays alive in veteran because he knows Surge want to extend out that way. Surge right now only have presence over towards that A side. OpTic have got things going on both sides of the map, and things going on over towards A are looking very, very nice. Ghosty will find one, his first kill of the game, but OpTic Texas looking to extend that time. Surge are actually having to answer what's going on over towards B. Dashy's locking that down on his own, will eventually get dealt with, but A, looking like it is going to go over to OpTic. We will be extending that time.
They will. I don't think Seattle are going to do much.
Look at the synchronization.
Not a very good restaurant. It only really serves steaks, and I don't think they're that appetizing, but I could be wrong. Now comes the difficult part, though. With A gone, can OpTic find a way forward into B? Ghosty and Simp, it's a horrible gunfight for both sides. Neither able to get the pick first, but Huke will find one onto accuracy on the other side. Pred will get back on the Dashy, and the kills start to flow.
Very turtle setup here from the side of Surge. You've got nobody in the flank whatsoever. Now you're going to be pushed back into your spawn. Mack needs to go huge in the middle of the map because Ghosty's found 3 in a row. Big offense here from the side of OpTic Texas is as good of a chance as they're likely going to get.
And they've got players on it, they've got bodies ready. Simp trying to find one, he gets it. The trades keep on rolling through. The third tick is increasing. Seattle Surge are trying to get, they keep fighting on. Pet gets one, Mack dives in as well, but it's done! OpTic find the first attack here on Greenberg Hotel. And Seattle Surge, this is not what they want, it is not what they need.
And Seattle never really had control of bedroom. It was very readable on every single occasion. They find a few kills, let's push bedroom. Every single time. For the most part, it seemed like Huke was waiting there for them to push that advantageous position you want on the defensive side. They never had control. And that is always such a hard thing to try and get back from. You're fighting out from your back spawn. But for the side of Seattle Surge, as far as attacking rounds go, one of the best teams in the game when it comes down to hotel control. 60% of the time they're finding these attacks, they need one here.
Seattle, yeah, I can't even speak. For Seattle, it's going from bad from worse. But the game's not over. I don't want to pretend it is, because it certainly is not. They can find their own attack, they can find the defense as well. And everybody who's a Seattle Surge fan right now is praying that this man goes to work.
Well, let's see if Pred can get something going here. Nobody alive over towards the bedroom side. Ghosty finding 2 towards the back. But here comes Pred, Ghosty with another, and another as well. That's all 4 dead. Ghosty's screaming in the comms right now, you best believe it. Seattle Surge retreat over towards A. OpTic are on the way.
Pred trying to find 2 but can't. And while that first tick will go through, OpTic are not letting Sleeping Dogs lie, and they'll get another kill as well. Shotzzy finds it, actually gets that trade back. The second tick will come in now for them. And OpTic will slow down.
Oh my goodness!
Huke is locked in.
It's looking like A is going to go over towards the side of Seattle Surge. I was about to say towards the side of OpTic Texas. It's felt like everything has been going their way. Red alive over towards the bedroom side is going to potentially be a catalyst for Surge to get something going here. You can already see the extension from Shotzzy. Are they going to call him out? They're going to find him indeed. Accuracy with that kill. Now Surge posturing themselves over towards B, spawning up close to it as well. A good opportunity here for Surge if they can find the kills.
They're looking for OpTic. You've got to be careful.
Oh my God!
You're great instead, and they find everything there. Seattle Surge will have to reset. They still have time. All is not lost.
Lives very even. This one is far from done. Mack will find one and look at the flag that potentially could be coming through. Accuracy will be looking to be slow and steady. Sib just kind of playing it like a defensive player here towards the bedroom side, waiting for OpTic to make their moves as the rest of his team makes the move over towards the backside. Next few kills are massive for the side of Surge. It's a big win for Sib.
And down he goes to Ghosty. OpTic not relinquishing control here
Big
for
kill.
a second. Pren finds the kill. They're on to the
Huge
point.
kills.
Actually finds another one. They've cleaned out bedroom. It's going to have to be Dashy to find something here as well. They're going to know where he's located into it, but he is going to get the gunfight. But Pren finds one as well. The first pick is now in for Seattle Surge. They have the body. Shotzzy flying, diving, trying to play his life. Huke finds one with a nade. Shotzzy spraying with all the teammates, and he continues to dive in and be the hero they need. But is he stopping? Of course he is. And Simp will fall as well. Seattle Surge cannot weather the storm.
7v7 in the lives department. It is a huge defensive hold from OpTic. Shotzzy's just running around the map and maybe overheating just a little bit. Simp will find him. Good shots from Dashy, but the chow will surely come in. Mack with the grenade. The shot's not good enough. Bruce locking down the back. Give him a second. Not quite. Does get it with a grenade. 5v5.
This basically turns now into a 30-second game of S&D. But they're on 2 ticks away.
That's huge.
Through versus 5. Dashy has to go huge. He has Ghosty with him. But time is ticking. It's gone. And Seattle Surge find that first taste of victory that they have needed in so long. It comes down to the wire. And OpTic threw a hurricane at them. But they prevail. We have a game in our hands, and that should make you smile.
Accuracy speaking to his team. Calm and collected. Still at this stage. One apiece. Really nice attacking round from Surge. It was a little bit more frantic, of course, than OpTic's, which was a lot more clean. But they will more than happily take that round. Now onto the defensive side. OpTic, what's the play? It's looking like a big hit through mid. Surge got the positioning to deal with this. Can they find the gunfights? Can they find a defensive round?
Already a lot of pressure being applied across this map. OpTic do have the time on the way here. Seattle a little bit wary of actually committing to this. You can see they're waiting. And that's probably because they're cleaning out bedroom. They're not going for this straight away. They might even go for it. A tall pop from Mack, who dived in, gets Shotzzy, but it's probably not going to be enough. The rest of Texas are here in numbers.
And of course, with accuracy pushing that far up, the numbers for OpTic Texas are going to be here. And they're going to be here constantly. Shotzzy will find one on the Pred as the kitchen push now starting to come through. Simp just trying to chip away, but it is looking like it is going to go to the side of OpTic Texas. But Surge just trying to slow that down as much as they can. Mack will find one, and that is all. OpTic looking like they're going to get a hold of a time extended, a full 2 minutes to have a look at B. And I tell you what, if Dashy keeps shooting like that, they're going to be in a nice spot. But Seattle Surge in a lot better position for the B defense than they were in the previous rounds. They never had bedroom control for the majority of that round. This time around, though, things are looking good. Accuracy staying alive, just trying to stop OpTic, find that flank through the spawn of the initial attack over towards A.
Here he goes. The freight train that is Huke. Breathing down the necks of Seattle Surge. Finds the first. Looking for more. He knows he's going to be there. Finds the second as well. Still moving. Still proving why he's so good on this team. As Huke tries to make the hero play. And so many kills found, but no progress.
And Simp goes huge for the squad there. Knows exactly what's going on. That's like 3 kills in a row now for Simp. Will he find any more accuracy to find one and get traded? But Simp was the one who found that kill in bedroom. There was a big engagement with an OpTic player. Found it, stayed alive, finds 2 more to hold down the site. The lives well and truly in the favor of Seattle Surge right now, 16-11. And the setup here from Surge looks a lot more comfortable than it has done for quite some time. Dashy going to go for the challenge. It's a big hit here for OpTic.
And actually he's running scared. He knows there's bodies there everywhere and he's trying to stay alive. Finds the first one in the Huke. Slowing down the terrible flood of green wall that's coming for him. Preds are arriving. Reinforcements for them as well. And it's got chaotic here towards the back of the spawn. They're trying to find everybody. Ghosty finds another kill. This now bounces on a knife edge. Whoever finds it will shut this one down with time ticking away. But OpTic have bodies ready for it. Simp has to play his life in bedroom. It is their ball walking. It is their chance to stay alive. OpTic are onto the point. It's still Simp though. He has to be the hero for them. And he will not fall yet.
Still somebody on the point here for the side of OpTic Texas now. Dashy. This will be a big kill to find. Can't get it. Simp still cooking. Gets a little bit overzealous with that one, but he'll take it all day long. 4 lives now for the side of OpTic Texas, 20 seconds remaining. This will take something quite special as Pred will find one at the Ghosty, and this should be Surge for what feels like the very first time in this series, somewhat in the lead.
They were calling out for a hero, and Sib arrived, played bedroom like a maestro, refused to buckle under the pressure, and they held. Seattle Surge have held. I believe that's 4 ticks that time. OpTic have got, keep an eye on that. It's imperative now for Seattle Surge if they cannot win this next round to get more ticks. And OpTic will be doing everything they can to stop them.
But to be honest, attack is really, for the most part, the better side you want to be on. We're going to have a very quick timeout, guys. We'll be back into the game in a second. The game has been paused. We'll be back imminently. Small technical issue, but Seattle Surge 2-1 to the good. And I can't overstate how big that first gunfight that Simp finds over towards bedroom side. He had Mack alongside of him. Mack does die immediately. Simp finds 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 kills in that entire sequence, which is what wins Seattle the round. It is a lead for Seattle at 2-1. OpTic up in the series, of course. You guys at home will know that one. 2-0. They've been looking phenomenal so far.
And well, there was an anticlimax as we wait for this game to get going again, but can't be overstated. Sib was the man with the plan. And we have got back into the game. Just a small adjustment of some headphones, I've been told. Nothing too major. Players back at it once again. No, an attack here for Surge. Pred finds 2 as well, straight onto A, stopping the clock.
Starting to heat up in this game is Pred. Can't find that kill on Dashy though, as OpTic now come back over towards A in numbers to try and slow down what is somewhat inimitable on these attacking rounds. Seattle looking good over towards the A side, but Ghosty in his prime position to potentially do something about it. My God!
That is not an easy gunfight to make, and he made it look easy. aBeZy staying alive here towards A. OpTic maybe applying a little bit of pressure. They found the first kill here on the Simp. It's going to give them confidence to maybe push his tempo. As Shotzzy flies across, he does go down. The rest of them not really being too aggressive. They might just let Seattle Surge have this. Dashy and Huke have found it. Mack will get 2 back. It's all saved. It's all good here at the major. But still a little bit further to go. They've got 3, I was going to say they've got 3 ticks. It's almost in. But 1 more tick here will tie it up. It'll go down to lives. 2 more ticks, defense for Seattle. 3 more ticks, game to Seattle.
Mack now on the pinch position. He could be the one that opens things up. Dashy will surely expect this challenge. He doesn't. Accuracy find 1. Ghosty another. Pred will find the kill, and now there's 1 player left inside the bedroom. Of course, it is Shotzzy to try and slow things down, but he goes down. Seattle Surge now. Huge opportunity to find a map in this series.
And just the rain of nades coming through for him, and Mack trying to stay alive. His body's flying at them at the same time. They're slowly getting through. Ghosty finds 2. Simp will get 1 back, and oh my goodness, Simp off the top rope guns him out of his trousers. But it's not going to be enough. Seattle do not get the second tick. They get nothing else from it. And OpTic can breathe.
They can breathe, but they don't have the map positioning. Shotzzy with a big win. Pushing over towards the couch's side now. Pred already on the flank. Huke's ready and waiting. Mack will find another, but still no bedroom control for the side of OpTic Texas. Seattle Surge still putting the pressure on over towards B.
Second tick, it has come through as well, but they're not looking for the second tick. They're looking for the win, but Shotzzy arrives. aBeZy will find 1 more. Shotzzy gets out with 2 health, goes to the gunfight as well. Down he goes. Seattle Surge, they're now in here at the same time. Huke will fall. Pred has arrived, and that is going to be Seattle Surge taking the control away from OpTic. They waited until map number 3 to hit the afterburners, but they will not be broken here. The first 2 maps, well, the first was close, the second really wasn't, but signs of life on the main stage.
Really good performance from Seattle Surge. Just constant in their pressure on the attack. So often, when they find that bedroom kill, they grab a hold of it and run with it for an absolute mile. A really strong performance from them, and what you want to see if you're a Surge fan is Pred with a 3 in front of that number. 30 kills for him in the game. Simp had a phenomenal time as well, putting on much more damage than Pred. And Simp, you can't underestimate how big those kills were over towards bedroom in that previous round. A phenomenal game from him, and Surge are well and truly back into this game, considering the next map that could potentially be coming up, of course, in Fortress Hardpoint. This one is far, and I mean far from over.
That's just the kind of momentum they really need for it, and you are correct. We talked about this before. KD does not mean you are good at Call of Duty. I'm sorry to tell you. Sometimes influential kills, influential spawns, they do matter more. And Simp staying alive in bedroom, it stopped the push. It stopped what may have been the end of the game, depending on how the teams are feeling. But Seattle Surge, they live to fight another day. They get another crack at a hard point.
Just overall, a solid performance. I mean, we knew coming into this that the control was likely going to go over towards Surge. They've looked so good on this mode and on this map in particular. And OpTic Texas, their control is wanting for the most part. It has been a pretty weak thing for them, and we got a good example of that there. Surge will find themselves now back into this series. That was much needed, because it was a comfortable win as well. It's the kind of win you want to get yourselves back into this series, outslayed, outplayed. And the game will go to Surge, and as you mentioned, can't underestimate how big those kills from Simp were. Putting up the best KD in the lobby at a 1.3. So, well, kills don't necessarily mean you're great, but he still puts the best KD up, I see.
Yeah, I'll make my own words, but it doesn't matter. One of the things to bear in mind here as well, that realistically, maybe the downfall of OpTic in that last round was they just couldn't hold bedroom control. Just couldn't get away from. We saw Shotzzy when he went down. That was basically the beginning of the end. They had to dive forward. And we knew, like, we were counting the ticks. We were saying, hey, it's going to be this many ticks if they can get defense and everything else, but they smelled blood in the water.
Yeah.
They knew they had the opportunity to push them back in their spawn, and they took it, held on to it, and now we get a map 4.
Yeah, and we've seen the good offensive round statistics for the side of Surge come home to roost in that one. A very solid performance on that side of things. Getting a hold of the defense as well never hurts you. And now, if you're OpTic, you're kind of heading into enemy territory when we're talking about Fortress. We'll delve into the stats in just a second. But I'll tell you what, I'll just tell you them now. OpTic Texas, 1-2 record on this map. Seattle Surge, 8-2. It is their best hardpoint map. They are probably the best hardpoint team on the game on average. They will be feeling confident to send this to a map number 5. But OpTic Texas, the trump card, Fortress Search and Destroy coming up the final map. If we do need it, they enjoy that map. We've already seen some good performances from them over that this weekend. But if I'm honest, I don't think they want to see it. They'd happily close this out in 4.
I think there may be another headset adjustment going on. Waiting for this game to start, I can tell you, everybody is getting into the lobby, everybody is readying up. For OpTic, business as usual, keep moving forward. You lost the control, it doesn't matter. If we have Seattle Surge, it does matter. You've got the win, use the momentum and carry on. Statistically, it is better here for Seattle Surge. But I'm kind of sick of saying it, I'm not going to lie to you. We have talked about statistics at length here throughout the broadcast, and it doesn't always tell the story.
Not just throughout the broadcast and throughout the season.
Yeah.
To be honest, it's kind of felt like, it's like, oh, well, this team should win this based on our numbers, and it always goes the opposite way. So you never really know when it does come down to land, when you do factor in everything else for the side of OpTic Texas here. Stats can't account for this crowd getting behind them. It's helping them out in these series. They've pulled them over the line a few times already. They're going to need to do it again here against Surge, who will be feeling super confident heading into map number 4. The fist bumps coming through. Ghosty still fiddling with his headset there. And you don't want that. You want to be as comfortable as you possibly can be heading into such a big map like this. We're about to load into Fortress. And for the side of OpTic, it is not must do, but you would like to close it out here.
And there we go, almost like a starting pistol. The fist bumps are in for both teams. That usually means we are getting ready. There we go, fist bumps on the other side of the stage as well. Seattle Surge ready to load in. The map fly-through is appearing. The game is loading. Don't jinx me now, servers. Let's get into this one. Let's find out. I'm looking, it's ready. Here we go.
As we've already talked about, this map for Seattle Surge, the numbers say everything points towards a win for their side. We're looking at Huke in this series so far. An absolute phenom. A 1.28 from Huke is something you want to see continue as we head into Fortress. Seattle Surge, their favored map. Can we see a map number 5? Or do OpTic close it out? We'll see them on Sunday.
We're looking for it already. Pred trying to find Shotzzy, but Shotzzy, of course, gets away from him because that's what he specializes in. And Huke will get the first kill. Simp will get the trade coming through as well. Huke gets the second, and Ghosty gets Huke. All right. Well, sometimes it works. At the moment, OpTic Texas getting time on P1.
Look about this rotation, accuracy already on his way. To be really careful if you're OpTic Texas earlier today, up against none other than, of course, Atlanta FaZe. The side of Seattle went up a massive 109-1 lead up to P2 and P3, perfect rotations. They're already getting some time over towards P1. OpTic Texas will not be going down to that 109-1 lead. They've got 22 on the board already.
Good position for Texas here at the moment. Big chow from Simp. All alone, the don't play coming through eventually. And they're waiting for this one to pop. Seattle still not in position. Spawn's actually maybe better. They've got nothing, and it is time now for OpTic.
And that was a big kill from Shotzzy, because now he can get in the maps, he can start to cut off the Mack. We'll shut him down. So OpTic Texas, you're in the position where you're at the back of the map, you can lock it down nicely from here, but Surge in a good position if they can break. They're in the perfect position to hold it down to P3, but you've got to win some gunfights if you're Surge. They haven't went their way so far.
You got to get past Dashy, Ghosty, and then you got to worry.
Oh my God.
Shotzzy will go around the flank and they will do work. Dashy is gunning everything towards him. Shotzzy will shoot him in the back.
Oh!
finds a second. Dashy on 5. Seattle Surge, nothing since P1.
And that is absolutely perfect from OpTic Texas. There's 15 seconds to play for here. They're still winning the gunfights. Ghosty all alone. Can he find the kill on the Pred? Yes, he can. That's the scrap time. That's the rotation. It is a monumental spree for the side of OpTic Texas. Unanswered in 15 kills.
Perfect play into P2, into P3. Not a kill thrown by the wayside. An OpTic resurgence, they're trying to fight for this one. It's a massive, huge kill up top. He only finds one though. Pred will find another. But can he fight Dashy? Not with attack, not at that range, surely. And down he goes. OpTic Texas into P3. This map is called Fortress, but that part might as well be.
Vaznev working out for Shotzzy as it so often does. Dashy, 6-3 for him, continues to rack the kills up. Pred will find one. For Seattle Surge here, is it maybe just time to work on moving over towards this next hill? Right now, Shotzzy just ain't missing a bullet. Simp will find the kill eventually. And now for Surge, you try and pin them in. This lead is absolutely massive for the side of OpTic Texas already. Perfect, and I mean perfection from P2 to P3. Seattle Surge have now got an opportunity to force them in, keep them in, as they get time over towards P4.
Pred's doing everything he can, now on a 5 streak himself. The spawn out will come. You can see Huke has managed to hit the back, and they're going to know this as soon as he finds that first kill. No, he gets it. Ghosty gets Pred. Sim will find Huke, but they're losing the time that they worked so hard for. And Shotzzy guns him. There's nothing here for Seattle Surge. OpTic Texas are running amok on this map.
And Surge getting really unfortunate with that spawn, I'm not going to lie. And then they start spawning back towards P3. Everything's coming up OpTic Texas right now. It is a 120-point lead against Seattle. Huke is trying his best to make this one nice and quick. Pred is just trying to hold on himself at 10 and 10. But this has been perfect hard point so far from OpTic Texas. The spawns have helped them out, of course. But Pred now just trying to limit this damage. 15 seconds to go. It's already getting to the stage where Seattle have to fight for every single second.
But time and time again, they are getting gunned. They're getting run off of this map. 23 points as we head into P5. And OpTic can taste this victory. They know Sunday awaits. A few kills going down for Seattle Surge. They need this time, they need the next time, and then time after that. But it's always possible.
The cruise is coming in. OpTic Texas 120 to the good. They've got to be feeling good. The comms will be phenomenal. Let's go for a listen-in with OpTic Texas.
He's absolute bottom maps. Absolute bottom maps.
Yeah, listen, what guys? Alright, nice.
He's one shot.
I'm wrapping P1, I'm wrapping P1.
They're gonna be bottom maps.
Bottom
maps. Absolute bottom maps. Absolute. Mack. Max bottom maps.
Holding gate.
We go what's Anvil.
Bottom maps.
Bottom maps. One was Anvil, one's P3.
I'm holding bottom maps. Let's go bottom maps. Let's go bottom maps.
P3.
Go back now.
I'm block P1.
Yeah, we're blocking.
Yeah, block.
I'm on new. Can somebody back up and block? We'll get bottom maps. I'm blocking. Can somebody get initial?
I can block.
Okay, can you block? Okay.
Yeah, we're trying to get out left, by the way. Where's good?
Alright, we're risking Pred.
He's absolute bottom maps. Absolute bottom maps.
I'm blocking. No. I'm blocking. Trust me. Not get out left. I'm watching left. Block.
Okay.
We're gonna be coming gate on me, guys.
I have left.
I need it over you. Nothing. Wait,
pillars.
You want to try to cross the time?
Stay alive.
Another one.
Bench. Let's go bench.
Yo, I'm not pushing.
Gate dead.
I'm starting gate.
I'm on gate.
Nothing's on gate. I need a gate.
I'm watching.
Open going. He's going to hit me close, I think. They're hitting you. Okay. Watch.
I'm watching gate. One top doubles and back step. Top doubles both gates. Alright, top doubles and both gates.
I am needing it.
Well, OpTic Texas holding all the spawns, getting all the kills. 198 to 57 as we look towards P2 and a potential for a blowout. It has not been pretty, but it has clean. Shotzzy is dancing, Dashy is destroying. And while this will come down and then gets hit as well, they have cleaned them out of P2. It is a massacre. It is miserable for Seattle Surge. OpTic Texas, the team that people did not think were good enough to keep pushing forward in the tournaments are sending a statement.
Still time. Seattle Surge should maybe bring this one back, but we've seen some incredible comebacks already this weekend. This would be phenomenal. Huke will find the gunfight on the rotation to P3. That scrap time will go over towards Seattle Surge. OpTic Texas say, hey, you can bloody have it. The rotation is in. They can win it at P3. Seattle Surge have not shown up yet. Pred's 21-17 right now, and they've got 90 points to 214. Kills starting to come through. Can you find a break if you Surge? You must.
They absolutely have to get through. The nade rain comes in. Sybil find two. Shotzzy though, looking for the answer. He is going to be killed. Now Huke goes for the attack, and he will get one. Tries to stay alive, falls to Pred as well. Pred going hunting at 23 and 18. The man is bleeding for help on this map, and nobody is able to match him. And at the moment, Seattle Surge have the time, but they need this, and they need even more.
Accuracy just trying to stay alive. He's got Huke alongside of him though to try and kill him, and then it will be Simp to find two more. Spawn towards the back for Dashy though. There's 20 seconds to play for here, and it's still going to be hotly contested. Accuracy just trying to survive. They need to survive. The points going over towards OpTic Texas. Rotation ongoing. Oh my goodness, Huke! This one might be done. OpTic Texas 25 away. Scrap time rotation belonging to them. The wind in the sails. Is there a way back for Surge? You need to be pretty much perfect every single second that remains on this hard point. OpTic Texas 10 seconds away.
10 seconds till destiny. And Seattle Surge pulls the clock, but Ghosty continues to rock it up as well. And 7 seconds, Seattle Surge are not there. They are too far away. And Seattle Surge, we will see you later. OpTic Texas do not walk, they do not crawl. They do not slowly snake their way forward. They strut, they sprint, and they stride into Sunday. The championship whites beckon. The crowd is on their feet, and for good reason. It was brutal.
They just beat them to death. That was perfect from OpTic Texas. We talked about their discipline. We talked about playing together. Those rotations, that game of hardpoint was sensational. The P2 to P3 in that first rotation was flawless. Everything OpTic did turned to gold. A truly magnificent performance from the green wall. It would take a 3-1 victory over Seattle Surge. And honestly, I don't think it matters who they played there. That was domination from the Røkkr.
There's not a lot that could be done on the side of Seattle Surge. The scoreboard tells the story. Dashy was 21 and 10. The rest of his teammates putting the kills in as well. Huke 25 and 17, 26 and 19 for Shotzzy. Ghosty still positive. Not a beat missed, not a rotation thrown away. A hold broken. It was close in the series. We thought we would. I'm actually going to apologize. I thought it was going to be closer than that.
I thought it was going to be a real. I honestly thought Seattle were going to come here look relatively strong. They did against FaZe earlier today, but OpTic Texas turning up in a different kind of way there.
Yeah.
That's a scary performance for everybody else. With this crowd behind them, they keep playing like that. They have as much of a chance as anybody when we're going into Championship Sunday. Absolutely anything.
They really do. It has been something that I think a lot of people are now going to be re-evaluating this team. That is the question we were asking. You can beat some of the teams in this tournament and your stock doesn't rise. But you beat Seattle like you just did, and it changes. But let's find out from our main stage. We've got Lando with Dashy.
If you can even hear me, Bryce, I'll tell you what, this crowd is absolutely electric after a W like that, Bruce.
Green wall is different. The green wall is different.
They are indeed, my friend. I got to ask you, man, how does that feel?
These guys are the best. I don't know. You guys are different.
MVP chance, and I tell you what, man, that game for a hardpoint performance was absurd. What, you put up 21 and 10. The entire team was frying. Yeah. That's 5 hardpoint victories in a row for you guys. Is that really the mode that it feels like is progressing you guys, or is it another one?
I feel like we're just translating our practices to our matches now, and I'm just really glad it's playing off. Job's not finished, though. Job is not finished.
The elimination bracket run continues. What? That's London, that's Florida, now it's Seattle. What's the mentality like of the team moving into Championship Sunday?
We're not content with this top 4 placing. I mean, we got our last event, so I mean, we're just trying to improve and trying to do better.
What would you say as you guys go, maybe watch some VOD, get ready for tomorrow? What's the #1 focus for you guys moving into whoever it is that you play?
Probably cleaning up our control. I mean, we won every other game mode today, so if we clean up our control, I think we're going to be good.
Absolutely, man. They love you, Bruce. They love you, man.
That guy's the GOAT right there.
He absolutely is. He got some MVP shirts out here. What's it going to take? What's it going to take for you guys to hoist the trophy in front of the Texas fans to do it? And really back-to-back events that you've been in front of the home crowd.
I mean, we're going to have to give it everything we got. Just obviously play some good COD. I mean, go have some fun. I mean, the green wall is here. I mean, every game's lit.
I'll give you your moment. Address the fans. What can they expect tomorrow?
Yo, shout out to the green wall. I love you guys. You guys are family to me, so appreciate you guys.
That's going to do it from us here on the main stage. Dashy and OpTic Texas, they get the job done. Desk, take it away, guys.
Going into this series, I said OpTic Texas, they're going to have that bit of a buff right from the green wall, the fans out there, and that buff pushed them forward. They are playing like they have not played before this entire Major 3 qualifiers. They're absolutely incredible, and my lord, Shotzzy, Huke, I mean, they're just insane.
I mean, I thought they were going to get slammed in that match for Seattle, I'll be honest. I may have underestimated OpTic's ability to learn from their mistakes and play the top-tier competition in our league. Like, what we saw right out the gates in the HyDra, it was beautiful, man. Like, applying pressure on the rotations, still hitting old, but, like, playing your life when you need to, winning that HyDra, then going into that search and destroy, just playing ultra-confident the entire time. Sound decisions, like, so confident Dashy's charging people with a pistol. OpTic ran through Seattle just now. That was terrifying, the ability these guys have when they're clicking.
And you can see it from the very start. Like you said, they're literally flying at their competition, and they were doing the same thing. You actually, Nameless, you said it. Like, dude, can they continue to do that against Seattle Surge, or will Seattle Surge punish them? Allie, Seattle Surge took a very tough loss, Mat 5, round 11 against FaZe.
Yeah.
I raised the question, is that going to hurt them mentally? I got to be honest with you, coming into this series, they did not look like the same Seattle Surge that played against FaZe.
I also said it, in the sense of I feel like losing that close, I feel like has much bigger of an impact than getting blown out. When you're blown out, to that point, you're like, what could we have possibly have done? But when you go to a game 5 against a team like the Atlanta FaZe, round 11, and it slips out of your fingers when you had the advantage, obviously that's going to have a mental impact. And OpTic Texas just gave them no groom. They gave them no growing pains at all. That first HyDra, some of the Seattle players came out slow. They didn't give any rotations to Seattle. They barely gave them a handful of breaks, and they clutched up in the end with the P2 back-to-backs. And then you move into that search and destroy. They were just running at the likes of Seattle.
Relentless, absolutely relentless. You have to be at this stage in the game. They're now top 4. Let's talk about our scuff play of the game. It was Hardpoint on Fortress Study. They were absolutely running through Seattle. Surge, I'm telling you, man, this was the most dominant performance we've seen yet.
Oh, without question, man. And the way that they started off this Hardpoint, they get all the P2 time, but then they win the gunfights over towards P3. When you're able to chain those 2 Hardpoints together, that's why you see the scoreline the way that it was. And then they just kept their foot on the driver's seat. They were just going, man. When you're playing that confident right now with the green wall behind you, OpTic Texas, they have really just shaken me up, man, because they come out, they have to go to a game 5 versus London. They go to a game 4 versus Florida, but when we talk about OpTic playing up against some of the top teams, they match that level of intensity with the green wall energy. They just made that one look super easy.
And what do we see with like the top teams in Call of Duty? When a team makes a mistake, you punish them.
Yeah.
We hadn't seen that with OpTic versus any of these top teams. Right there, we saw what Seattle did. They committed 2 players towards open. They get that, Dashy gets that 2-piece, and they flip them out, and they recognize that and immediately all run towards P3. And from then on out, the game is over, right? Like, you have a 110-point lead. As long as you don't make any crazy mistakes, the game is over. They ran that all the way up to the end.
And Ali, I want to ask you specifically for OpTic, do you think like we've seen an improvement in a certain game mode? Or are they still kind of, which game modes would you say?
Honestly, across the board, when we saw them day number 1 and they took that loss, it was like the talent is always going to be there for OpTic Texas. The mechanics, the movement. I mean, you have Shotzzy and Huke on your team, but the fundamentals weren't there. Nobody was rotating. We saw it on that aBeZy hardpoint. They weren't getting streak control. Nobody was pushing the back. It was just 4 talented players spawned in on a map, and that's why they lost. And now we see them come into today. They're prioritizing rotation. They're prioritizing Money Hill. They're prioritizing these power positions. They look like a completely different team, and all they had to change was a basic fundamental.
That's right, and the confidence is there. The green wall is louder than ever. Top 4 secured. It helps a lot. You know it from being in the past, right? Being a competitor, especially with the OpTic green wall behind you.
I mean, we talked about it as well. Like, the further you get in a tournament, right, there's going to be these crazy moments in these series. OpTic series maybe a little crazier than others, but they're getting better as the tournament's going on, and Ghosty's getting way more comfortable with this squad. And they're starting to trust each other and trust that process that, yo, this team change did work, right? Now they find themselves in the same situation they were last event, sitting at top 4, and it's probably starting to feel like this is a justified move that we made. Let's keep doing our thing.
And the only thing that scares me for OpTic, going into Championship Sunday, you heard Dashy talk about it in his interview, the main thing they have to focus on is control. The teams that are currently left in the tournament, like Toronto, like Atlanta FaZe, they are stellar in that mode. So if you want to go home with that championship, you got to be able to fix that bottom off.
Job's not finished. That's the big key takeaway, right? You got to stay focused, and I bet you OpTic Texas will be bringing the heat tomorrow where they will be competing. The team of the major is back. The CDL experts will select the top 8 players. You, the fans, will then vote for your favorites, and the 4 players with the most votes will become the Scuff team of the major. You can scan the QR code if you would like to vote. We want your opinions. Hey, look, the collective mind sometimes is smarter than the few minds we have here. Not saying anything about you guys. Now, for me, I'm dumb. It is what it is. And also, if you want to get into the action and show that you're one of the best out there, ranked play is back. So, hey, look, I'm not saying it's easy, but if you think you're good enough, hop into it. Don't get left behind in the rise to the top 250 leaderboard. You might even run into some pros. Who knows who's going to be out there once this major is done. Hey, we have one more series of the day. It's going to be another elimination bracket matchup. So that means some loser, of course, is going to be done. The winner will move forward to play against OpTic Texas tomorrow. It's Las Vegas Legion going against Boston Breach when we come back.